Hey, what's good, everybody? You are watching a brand new episode of Leveling Up Benjamin Banks, where today we're reviewing Black Lightning, Season 4, Episode 2. And on today's episode, I got my co-host with me, as always, Rebellious D.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's good, man? I like how you were waving before I already introduced you. You need to at least let me say your name first before you start waving, so that way people know who you are, so that way that they know who's waving at them. Because you could just be anybody. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think they know me by now, Banks.
Hey, you just never know. I mean, you could be Michael for all we know.
Oh, Lord. Michael. You're right again, Banks.
So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Like I said, this is episode 2 of Black Lightning season 4 review, and this is chapter 2, which is unacceptable losses. So before we get into this review, make sure that you like this video and you subscribe to our channel and hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when the Leveling Up boys have a new video for you to watch and view. So let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So the episode, it starts right off with Chief Lopez giving a speech to everybody saying that no more metahumans, pretty much. And she wants to clean the streets of Freeland from the metahumans, which is kind of crazy because since episode 1, I know that the metahumans, they are out there in the public, but we haven't seen any other metahumans besides, Black Lightning, Thunder, and Lightning, right, D?
As of right now, yeah. Well, when Chief Lopez takes over, I don't know whichever one she's referencing.
Well, I'm assuming that she's talking about Thunder and Lightning because those are the only ones, but she's also talking about all the other metahumans as well. And she says that there are these energy weapons that she's going to be using, which are the DEGs, the directed energy guns. And these were one of the guns that was used last week to take Lightning out. And it's like, I feel like we never, correct me if I'm wrong on this because I can't remember, but we never get a follow-up on like what happens to Lightning when she falls from the sky, right? She just, like, they show a clip. They show a clip at the start of the episode of what happened last week. And then it just starts off with, Chief Lopez talking about what's going to happen in the town and whatnot. You have Jefferson and Lynn, they're still going to couples therapy so that way that they can work on themselves and work on their relationship and whatnot. And the dynamic that I like about this is that they're both going to the therapy by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're able to get off of their chest like how they feel about certain things. And it's just crazy how the dynamics have changed between the two, because in season 1 of Black Lightning, Lynn, she was against Jefferson using his powers. And that was one of the issues that kind of, came apart of their marriage. It tore apart their marriage because he was Black Lightning. And now you have Lynn, who is using metahuman powers, and she's addicted to it. And Jefferson is like, pretty much now Jefferson is in the role where it's just like, why are you using these powers? You're not a metahuman. So D, like, how do you feel? Because it's like Lynn, she has these abilities now where she can just inject herself and she has these powers. And Jefferson, who doesn't want to be Black Lightning anymore, Lynn feels like that she has to be out there on the street so that way that she can protect Jennifer. She doesn't really think that Anissa needs any protecting, because Anissa, she's been Thunder down for the past 3 seasons. So it's like she's already well versatile into what she knows how to do, and she can take care of herself pretty much. But Jen, who really just came into her own last season and can finally use her powers and whatnot, like, how do you feel with Lynn wanting to be out there with her daughter?
My first impression, Banks, of Lynn is that she is in the way. She has no like real street smarts to her. She's not combat savvy like the girls told her in the episode. They were trained by their dad, and she has no training. And as you can see in the episode, she actually does. She almost gets shot, right?
Yes.
So, that's just a plain example. And she is, I think, still addicted to the powers.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
I agree with you on that. I mean, like you said, she does almost get shot, and it is because of Lynn being there that she was able to help Jennifer. But it's like, even with her being there, not only does Lynn get hurt because her wind abilities aren't strong enough to take down a common low, like just a normal street thug. When Jen helps her, she ends up not electrocuting herself, but she uses her powers, and because the force of her powers is so strong, it's able to shatter some glass, and the glass ends up going into Jennifer's arm. And D, I like what you said about like how she's pretty much still untrained with her powers, because she is like Jefferson. He really didn't train her for real. And I feel like with Anissa, he did help her a little bit, but Anissa, she's always been a fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's like, going all the way back to the first season, she was always out there at the protest, and it's like she already knew how to protect herself. So it's like her getting the powers, and then just her going above and beyond to learn how to train, hone her powers, hone her skills. She's already set. She can fend for her own, but Jen, like, she's still coming into her own, and because of that, her mom ended up getting hurt. And when they find out that Lynn has been using these abilities, and she feels that she has to be out there to protect Jen and Anissa because Jefferson isn't out there. They're just like, no, you just need to stay in your lane. Like, you're not a metahuman. You're not one of us. Like, we appreciate you being out there, but you're just going to get in the way, because she does, like, even with the metahuman abilities that Lynn does give herself, she's still not a trained fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's easy to use powers, but what if somebody, like we saw in this episode where the guy, he shot her? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, what if she was fighting somebody who had, let's say they're a metahuman, and this would be a My Hero Academia reference. If you guys don't know what My Hero Academia is, you need to check it out. But let's say she's fighting somebody like Kirishima, who's able to harden his skin, and she's using her wind powers, and this metahuman is just able to come straight at her. What is she going to be able to do?
The thing is, Banks, like you stated, she wasn't even able to move a common thug, like a level 1 thug. Yeah. Like, Kirishima would probably tear her a new one, unfortunately.
He would. And it's just crazy, man. And then, we also see more with Gambi and how he's talking with his love interest, whose name I forgot again. But she wants Gambi to pretty much come and work with her at the building where they are developing, these new weapons for the metahumans and whatnot. And it's cool seeing Gambi have like a love life, because for the last 3 seasons, Gambi has always pretty much been like their Alfred slash can't think of somebody else, but like their Alfred.
Lucius.
I can see it like they're Lucius. I'm trying to think of something.
He's basically in a Lucius kind of role. I mean,
yeah, he is.
He's kind of like their intelligence, and that's basically what he is.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, he can still come out there and he can kick ass if need be.
Oh yeah, no question.
I'm trying to remember who else I was thinking of, but anyway, like, we'll just go with Alfred and Lucius. But yeah, like, now he messing with an old flame, and it's like, I look at this like that Gambi, he is going to use this as a chance or an advantage to get some intel on these weapons, so that way that he can protect his family, because the Pierces are his family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, what better way to do it than to work with the enemy, get some info and intel on these new weapons, and help your family out. And not only help your family out, but also help out the other metahumans that are in the town. Now, we also have going on too the battle between the 100 crew and the Cobra crew. And it's crazy because when I think about Cobra, I'm just like, dang, Cobra Kai, man, they on the rise, bro.
Hey, no mercy.
Oh, mercy.
No mercy. So.
And they're out on the streets battling and whatnot. And what ends up happening is a teen, he ends up getting caught in the crossfire because some of the homeless, they live in their vehicles, and he gets caught in the crossfire. He ends up getting shot, and Anissa and one of her colleagues, they show up, they try to save this kid, but it's already too late. We find out that that kid is a student that goes to the high school that Jefferson is the principal at, and his father also works at the school. And when Jefferson finds out about this, like, he gets pissed off again, just like how he got pissed off when Jen got hurt by somebody. And he ends up, and like, he wants Gambi to tell him like where he can find this person at. Now, the thing about Jefferson this season is, like he said, Black Lightning is dead. he doesn't care anymore. There's no F's given. And
Nope.
he's just really going out here and doing whatever he wants to do. Like Tobias even encounters him this episode, and Jefferson uses his powers right in front of the school. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's like anybody could have seen him. Like, D, how do you feel? Because like, you know, we've seen a lot of hero shows and a lot of animes. How do you feel about like this new streak that Jefferson has? Like, do you think eventually that, you know, Chief Lopez or somebody else is going to capture him in the act of using his abilities? And do you think that this is going to put his family in danger?
I think that it may come down to a scenario where he kind of outs himself as Black Lightning, like gets caught in the act. And it may be a situation where they know who he is, just like some other heroes, their identities are known. You know, like Iron Man or Reed Richards, you know, the Fantastic Four. Yeah. I mean, it may come down to being a situation, but once he identifies himself as a hero for the community and stuff, maybe it's just like, okay, that's who this guy is, you know? Yeah. I think it will play out that way.
I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, where it's like, you know, the community, because it's like going all the way back to the first season. It's like Freeland is in the shape that it was back in the first season now, because you have the gangs running the street, you have no Black Lightning, and although you do have Thunder and Lightning, I feel like that they don't hold the, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like people, it's like they love that they do have these heroes in the town, but there's no Black Lightning.
Yeah, they don't hold the rank of Black Lightning.
Bro, same thing, like another My Hero Academia reference, because we talked about this before. Well, we haven't talked about this, but on the My Hero Academia podcast, where I also, you know, joined them and talk about the My Hero Academia manga, we talk about Endeavor and All Might, and All Might was the number one hero, and then because he had to step down, you have Endeavor, who's the number one hero, but Endeavor is no All Might. And that's what I feel like with Thunder and Lightning. It's just like, yeah, like they're really good heroes, but they're no Black Lightning. And I feel like that's an issue that both of them have, because both of them are very hot-headed. And I understand why, you know, they always butt heads with Jefferson, because Jefferson wants to do stuff by the book, and he wants to, you know, still keep his code like we talked about last week. But it's like, it's the future now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Dad, it's not the 1990s anymore. Times change, but you still can't kill. Heroes don't kill. So it doesn't matter like how much they complain about like Tobias needing to be killed. Tobias just needs to be taken down just like any other bad guy. And it's going to be very interesting to see like what's going to happen, because Tobias has always been this person that is supposed to be feared, and we see him getting injected early in the episode with his injection to keep him younger and for him to keep his abilities. And it's like, we all know that Tobias is going to do something eventually where it's just like, I got everything. Like my hands are in everything in Freeland right now. Like I'm untouchable. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens this season. Again, this does suck that this is the last season. It's also very interesting, this Facebook group that I'm in, they were talking about Black Lightning, and they were talking about the current season, and a lot of people in the comments, they said the same thing that I said last week when we did this review, is that season 1 and season 2 were the best seasons, and then season 3, when it got to season 3, it was just something off about it, and I'm just hoping that this season it does go out with a bang, and it gives us the Black Lightning that we loved in the first and the second season. Because at the end of the day, I love Thunder, I love Lightning, but the show is called Black Lightning. It's just It's just like, I love you, I love Trav, but the show is called Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, here we go. This guy.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. So I'm trying to think what else happened on this episode too before we go ahead and wrap this thing up. What are some of your takeaways from this episode, D?
It's going to be for me, it's going to be very interesting to see what ends up happening with Tobias and how they eventually stop him. I think it could be a double cross from the inside, actually, because they gave signs that he doesn't really trust some of his assistants and stuff, and the people that he's working with. that's always a good way to get rid of a main villain. But if it comes down to Jefferson versus him, how does Jefferson overcome this? I can't wait to see how that builds up. Um, Tobias is very interesting now. He was already interesting, but he's damn near invincible when he's on that serum. So it's going to be interesting how they end up stopping him. I would like to see this episode. I like the development of the rest of the family outside of Jefferson.
Yeah,
I want to see what ends up happening with the girls moving forward. It's a lot of interesting moving pieces, but I think that's something that was different between seasons 1 and 2 and now is that the multiple the miniature storylines that you got throughout those seasons were a little amped up and a little better. So, because you had like the creation of Painkiller and things like that, and then you had people like Sana. It was just more meta humans back then. I feel, they aren't really dealing with as many villains as they were back then.
Yeah, but I do feel that we are going to see more villains as the show progresses because Tobias, he does have to, find some type of way. I mean, because you got to think, he's not going to let Black Lightning get away with what he did to him this episode. So, I understand why Black Lightning, Tobias came to him and said, I still remember what you did to my sister. I didn't forget that. But it's just like, you killed my dad. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like, it's like you can't be mad. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing like what else is going to happen. I'm wondering like what we're going to see with Chief Lopez and the relationship that we see between her and Black Lightning, because right now we see the relationship that she has with Jefferson, who she already thinks is Black Lightning. So I can't wait to see what we're going to see next with that. Also with the Detective Shakur. I mean, we've seen him this episode, but he really didn't play too much into this episode. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we see with him as well. And we also got a little bit of recovery from Grace. Like she transformed into one of her animal forms, and the Nissa, she ended up hanging out with her colleagues. So I'm just looking forward to seeing like what else happens this season. Like I had told D over the phone earlier, it's like I just felt like this episode was just okay. I know, the first episode, you want to bring the fans back in because it's like they want to know what's going on. But it's like now with this being the final season, and like D just said, it's like you have to, build up these stories from the start early on, so that way that you can finish them and they come full circle when it comes to the end. I'm hoping that this season has at least like 20 or so episodes, so that way everybody can get their proper closure. And again, like I'm hoping that once this show does end, that we do see the characters move on to some of the other CW shows, or maybe there's a new CW show like Legends of Tomorrow, where it's like we get another team up of heroes, so that way you don't just have these characters go to waste. Like I wouldn't mind seeing Tobias. I'm trying to think. I think
if they use one of the heroes in Legends of Tomorrow, they could easily. I think I would plug and play Lightning. I think that she would have the attitude. She's very fiery. Yeah. I mean, I would love to see Thunder again too. She's like I said, she's my favorite. So
I agree with you on that. I mean, there's room in Legends of Tomorrow for a lot of people because people have come and gone. So definitely looking forward to that. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Let us know in the comments. I'll get back with you. I'll talk with you. Let's talk about it. Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Let me know. Let us know. Thank you for watching this episode. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you enjoyed the review. We hope you enjoyed last week's review. Make sure that you like this video and you subscribe to our channel so that way that you can always know when we have new videos, and make sure you hit that bell button so that way every time we do drop something new, you're always automatically notified. So D, take it away. Tell them where they can find you at in social media land.
That's going to be rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com.
And you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook by typing in Benjamin Banks, and I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. And make sure you follow all of the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks social media accounts at Leveling Up Banks on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you're feeling generous and would love to donate to us, we have a Patreon, and it's at Leveling Up Banks. Make sure that you check out our podcast where we drop new episodes every Tuesday, brand new. And that's it. And Hey, we also have the YouTube, which you're watching us on now. And on YouTube, we upload our podcast episodes. So that way you can see the video interview of it. So thank you again for watching this video. And we'll see you next week when we have episode 3 of Black Lightning. And make sure that you check out some of our other videos that are coming up soon, like The Promised Neverland, episode 6 video that's going to be coming out, and our WandaVision review that's coming out soon. So
we
again,
also have Lois and Clark, or Clark and, was it Superman and Lois?
Superman and Lois. Yeah, we're doing that review next week. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So yeah, make sure you always keep that pinky up, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Be sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and get notified every time we upload a new one by subscribing and ticking the bell icon. You can also listen to the full episode by searching for Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks on your favorite podcast app. If you'd like to help support more great content like this, be sure to check us out on Patreon. We'll have the link posted in the description below. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.